the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Bristol Flyers Podcast, proudly sponsored by WebGains. I'm Joel Osborne, and he is Sam Hardy. And Sam, this week we saw another chapter written, a little tiny chapter in Bristol Flyers history, because we got our first ever home win in European competition.
Isn't that amazing, Joel? I mean, we nearly had it at the first game at home, robbed in the last second, but last night was an absolutely beautiful game. Loved being there, loved the environment, loved the atmosphere, loved that you were here and not down there.
I'm sure the atmosphere was rocking. And we were stuck here. Producer Dan and I were stuck here in the studio in Bristol. So, a massive win for Bristol Flyers, for everyone involved with the club. 12-point win over Dutch side Lansted Hammers. And also, Sam, not to forget, how can we forget? We can't forget the massive comeback win on Saturday against the Sheffield Sharks. A huge dub.
I cannot wait until we explore that a little bit further later on, Joel. It's such a good win.
Yeah, all that coming up on this week's show. Plus, we've got producer Dan over there pushing all the buttons. Dan, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you, gentlemen. Look, I'm very, very high on the win last night. That was so good. I enjoyed being there and watching that.
Yeah, right here in the...
right here with you.
Yeah.
Right here with you.
How was your sleep last night in your office bed under the table, Dan? Because you basically live here, don't you?
I do, yeah. I do basically live here now. It was okay. Joel was a bit fidgety in the night, but no, we did okay. We did all right.
I think we both live here now, don't we? Like, literally.
Pretty much.
We had a game last night in here, and now we're back in here again with a podcast. It's madness. But how about the Flyers, Dan? Big pair of dubs.
Oh, it's great. What a week. What a week.
Huge week indeed. Of course, you were on directing duty yesterday, weren't you, producer Dan, yesterday for the game? You spoke about that. How did you find the directing the game last night for
It
Flyers
was good.
TV?
Yeah, it was really good. And we got good numbers again, guys. We got good numbers again on Flyers TV. So, it was a very successful night.
And did it go out on the Caffeine as well, the American platform we spoke about last week on the pod?
It did. Two things on that. So it went out on Caffeine TV again. Shout out to the American followers. 328,000 views on Caffeine TV.
No way.
I've not even looked at the numbers, so this is all news to me. It's amazing.
Big numbers on that one. And also, it went out in Latvia.
Oh, wow. Did it actually?
It went out in Latvia.
In Latvia?
Well. Yep. They wanted an English commentary to show their game last night. They wanted to show it too, but they wanted English commentary. So, Joel, you are big in Latvia too. So it's a big sveki to our Latvian friends.
Oh, that's great. So producer Dan over there is good. Speaking Latvian now on the podcast.
He's been prepping, hasn't he? Well done, Dan. Done more prep than Joel this week. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah, I've done zero prep. I'll tell you why. There, it's because we've had
here we go.
The schedule has been crazy for Flyers right now.
You're not even one of the players, mate. Why are you complaining?
I know, but it's all the stuff you got to do between the games, isn't it? With us,
Yeah.
That's where it's more busy. The podcast. Not to say the podcast isn't fun. The podcast is really fun, but it takes a lot of work. The games, the commentaries. It all stacks up. So I'm still making it through. Haven't had a chance to really unwind yet after a pair of big Flyers wins. Been another busy week.
Are you going to get a chance to wind down a little bit over Christmas, Joel, or is it just going to be
I'm hoping so.
steaming ahead
I'm
for
actually
you?
hoping so, because we've got the schedule's quite kind to us this Christmas.
Well, we got a game next. We got a game on Friday away.
Yep.
Then Tuesday away in
A Thursday in Manchester.
Thursday away, yeah. Sorry, my mistake. And then Tuesday away in Estonia.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then there's Christmas. And then there's Sheffield Sharks before Christmas. And then there's also a trip to Leicester Riders between Christmas and New Year.
28th.
And then there's no New Year's Day game this year.
Oh, so we can't lose to Surrey on New Year's Day.
Don't say that, but yeah.
Well, we can't. We literally can't, okay?
Yeah, pretty much. Just before we introduce our guest this week, by the way, a quick update on last week's podcast. We had Joe Edwards, head of marketing from the British Basketball League, on the pod. He said the B, and the L, so we had to do a forfeit out of our forfeit bucket. I asked him for an update on it, and he hasn't given me anything. So I'm going to chase him again later this week, and hopefully we'll have some news for you on next week's show. So there you go. Right, time for us to introduce our guest for this week's show. We've got another big name in the house, because we are very pleased to be joined by none other than Flyers point guard CJ Jackson. CJ, how's it going?
It's going, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to spend time with you guys, especially after the win last night.
Yeah, huge win last night. What was the mood like in camp after the final buzzer?
Just happy, you know. We've had a tough couple of weeks, especially since I've gotten here. It's been tough, and it's been long weeks and long days, and just long everything. So we're just trying to get it going. And I say the Caledonia game is really when it started for us to turn around. The second half, we just picked it up. And ever since then, we just been kind of rolling. And so we just want to keep that going.
Yeah, it was. I thought that Caledonia game, you watched that one on Thursday, Sam?
I was intermittent because I was doing something else, but it was so frustrating at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah. It could have gone either way, I felt. There was a couple of foul calls. We won't talk about the foul calls, but it could have gone either way that game.
Either way, yeah. And especially with the trip and all that. So it was just good to finally string it together and get some wins, you know.
Yeah.
How long
have
have
some
you?
smiles after the games.
Yeah, oh man, we needed those smiles. How long have you actually now been here in the UK?
2.5 weeks, maybe.
Is that it?
It's gone so fast, isn't it? It's gone so fast.
The thing is, you say it's gone fast, but it feels like you've been here for ages because we've had so many games in that time.
I think it's 6 games, 2 ENBL games, and 4 BBL games.
Yeah. Crazy,
like
isn't
that,
it?
yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
that is
In
actually
2.5 weeks,
nuts.
yeah.
You must be
3 weeks.
knackered.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming here on the
For sure.
podcast on what is actually technically a day off for the players. We've got him coming in here on the podcast, but we're just chopping it up, having a conversation. So nothing too taxing, I hope, for you today. But yeah, we really appreciate you coming in on the podcast. Have you had a chance to really settle into life in Bristol yet? Because you know, I remember when you first signed with the club, and we said like. I promise you it does start to settle down a little bit. I mean, you get the call from coach, you hear like 24 hours later.
Was it 24 hours?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it
maybe
was.
not even 24. It was like 18 technically or something crazy.
Well, you got the call. Right, I want to hear this. So you got the call. What time was it when you where you were?
See, I had already been like, we had already like been in talks before, but I guess when Trejon went down the Surrey game.
The
first Surrey game away, it like rapided things up and sped it up. So then that became, can you come tomorrow? And I was just like,
Did Mike just get on and book you a flight in the next? How long after the call was the flight?
so the first call was Saturday, I believe Saturday evening, and then I left the next day, like 5 p.m. Sunday.
Crazy. It was one of the quickest turnarounds we've done.
Yeah.
I think we've had this twice this season because we had the same with RGB when he joined us as well. That was a very, very quick turnaround. I mean, I get a call from my point of view. I get a call from coach saying, look, you're coming in. I'll be like, look, can I try and get some time with you to get some photos, get some interview content so we can make your official announcement. And then you arrive, and then I think when you get off the plane, are you thrown straight into like a first shoot around or first practice, like pretty much straight away?
I believe the first practice was the next day, but I mean, the biggest thing for me was just the time difference and the weather was drastically different for me.
Well, where were you? Where were you flying out from? Where were you?
I was in
originally?
Phoenix.
You were in Phoenix.
I was in Phoenix.
So what's that? 8 hours? 6 hours?
9.
No, 9 hours. Oh wow.
8. No, 8.
It's
8,
West
8.
Coast. It's West Coast, isn't it?
8.
Yeah. So it'd be 8 hours.
8 hours different. Have you recovered from that now even?
Yeah. Like,
2.5 weeks, mate. You have to think so.
The thing is, and they've been to Poland, and they've been to, it's been crazy, hasn't it? So
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear that things have settled down for you, because I think that was one of the craziest weeks we've ever had. There was so much going on, injury reports, players coming in, like 2 or 3 games going on in that week as well. So, good to hear that everything's settled down. How are you enjoying your time in Bristol so far? Talk to us about it.
I haven't got to see much, as you can kind of hear, but the guys are just more importantly been, nothing but supportive for me and just everyone, including you guys, just the whole team itself, like not just the players on the team or the coaches, just the entire Bristol team has been nothing but, supportive and friends, like the fans, the supporters that come to the games. Like you saw the fans that traveled to Poland even, and you just don't really see that a lot, especially in different clubs, just depending on where you are. So I can't really complain at this point. It'll be nice to, get out and see. We did pass the aquarium on the way here.
We did, didn't we? Yeah. I drove CJ down in. I said to him, look, there's the aquarium. We were driving through Bristol City Centre, and CJ just pointed out this sign. He goes, there's an aquarium in Bristol? And I was like, yeah, we're actually going to drive past it. I'll show you.
He said the zoo, too. I'm like, I got to check one of those out.
And so you got a bucket list now of things to start doing. Yeah. If anyone's got any other things that you recommend CJ to do, slide in his DMs and send them through some recommendations of things you could check out while he's in Bristol.
Definitely.
It's great stuff. Has it been everything you expected so far? Your time with the Flyers. I know it's been quick so far, but is it everything is sort of lived up to be as you expected?
I really didn't know what to expect, honestly. It just like I'm the kind of person to kind of take it day by day. It's really everything can change. With the team dynamic, injuries, just lifestyle. So I'm a day by day kind of guy, and it's what I hoped it to be so far.
And you mentioned obviously you travelled over from Phoenix. The season before that, you were playing in Sweden.
Yeah.
Is it pronounced Jämtland? Is that correct?
Jämtland, yep.
How was that experience like for you? Talk to us about it.
We had a really good year basketball-wise. You think it's cold here, it's cold there for sure. Like we saw the Northern Lights daily. So
Genuine?
Yeah, it was cold. It was
jealous.
Cold. No.
Not jealous.
Extra layers.
Yeah.
Extra team gear for cold,
I'm more
seasons.
of a Palm Beach kind of guy, so.
Yeah, well,
palm
good luck
trees and stuff.
playing over here in the UK.
Actually, it's a good point. In Sweden, would they give you extra stash that was super warm because of how cold it was, or did they not?
Yeah. I wore 2 pants, 2 sweats every day, 2 hoodies, long sleeve, big bubble jackets. You kind of just make it work.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I mean, talk to us, like, what was the main differences, apart from, obviously, you mentioned the weather, because you've actually spent the most of your career playing in Sweden.
Yeah.
What is it about Sweden that makes you want to keep going back there and playing basketball?
I just think the lifestyle is easy to adapt to coming from the States. I would describe the cities are very clean. The people are very genuine. Very straightforward. It's kind of understood what's expected of you. And, I mean, they have a lot of great cities, like Stockholm is unbelievable. Even some of the cities in the north are fun. I haven't gotten to go to Gatlinburg, or I haven't gotten there, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. And it's a pretty competitive league, so it's kind of easy to continue to go back there.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap living in Sweden, right?
Sometimes. Depends on how you live.
Yeah. Mate, we went there once and I bought a round of coffees, 4 coffees.
Yeah.
Guess how much it cost me?
I don't know. I don't know. Let's just say like £3 a coffee.
No, £22.
Really?
Yeah.
For 4 coffees?
For 4 coffees.
Like, what coffees are you getting? The big frothy?
No,
nice
just
latte?
like a normal coffee, Joel, okay?
An Americano.
Leave me alone.
Sheesh.
Very expensive, but very lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
If you haven't been, you got to go.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I do want to go check it out at some point.
Yeah, when you finally leave working for the Flyers, mate, when you're a 65-year-old man, maybe you'll be able to go travelling somewhere.
It's been 84 years. It'd be hilarious. Oh, look who's just walked through the door. Trejon Jacob's in the house. Come over it, Trejon. Come over it.
Go say hello,
We got a surprise
TJ.
appearance on the podcast. It's just completely random.
Just in time for us to talk about Les dunking on you.
Oh, can we talk about this?
They set you up for that one. They set you up for that one.
like you to head out.
Can we actually talk about this? You come down here so the camera can see you on camera. Here he is, Trejon Jacob in the house. Last night in the game, we were going to get on this a bit later on in the podcast. Come over here so producer Dan can see you a bit more on camera too. There he is, nice and tight. The forward's in the studio now. Last night in the game, Leslie Smith, I think you went for a layup, right? And then Leslie Smith, he dunked it on you. Talk to us.
Yeah, I went for the layup, and usually how coach says it in practice is like, oh, if you shoot it, the big clean it up, as we say, Paul. But
Yeah, that's wild.
damn. But yeah, so I shot it, and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm about to get my own rebound, put it back up, and out of nowhere, I see a big ass shadow on the back of my head. So I was like, oh, okay, well, it's gonna go one of 2 ways. It's the big man or it's one of us. But I didn't expect him to dunk that and when I with rebound, like his momentum and his force like pushed me towards the baseline. So I was like, damn. I looked up, I was like, that's how you gonna do me, bro? Like, that's what I thought we was boys. Like,
But hey, isn't that the rule? Like when you get a poster against Sheffield Sharks, that massive poster you've got, it's only your turn to then get on the poster courtesy of Leslie Smith, right?
at least it wasn't the opposition. At least it's one of the guys. So I'm not okay with it, but I'll accept it for now. I got to talk to him about that one because I'm still upset.
I love that you didn't run back on D. You're just like, what? What are you doing?
I was really baffled because I was like, bro, what really just happened? Like,
Who was that?
like I'm thinking, like, why would he do me like that, bro? Like, no warning, no TJ move. Like, he just dunked it. I was like, all right, bro, whatever.
CJ, what was your reaction when you saw that play? Were you
I
on the
was
court
just-
at the time?
I don't think so. I was just like, get back, you know.
No, it's good.
But do you know what? While we're here, we might as well give just a couple of seconds to that dunk that has gone everywhere against Sheffield. That was do you know what? I'm watching it. We want to talk about it all, but I'm watching. Les's pass is lovely, but it almost bobbles. You don't quite catch it clean to begin with, right?
Yeah, so honestly, I didn't think I was going to actually get the back door. I mean, we do it in practice, but I didn't know I was going to be that wide open, so I bobbled it. And as I was like trying to grab the ball and look towards the rim, I saw space. So I was like, well, I'm going full speed. He in the semicircle. I might as well try it and see what happens.
Yeah,
and
see
then
where I'm at with it.
And then now the pictures and all that, y'all see what happened. And I had to style a little bit because, you know, why not? I'm already up there. I might as well hang around for a little bit. You know.
Was that one of the biggest dunks of your career, do you reckon?
Yeah, so it's actually crazy. I had one in high school my senior year. My boy threw me a lob, and it looks bad, but the guy's like face actually hit my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like
I don't know what you're saying. Can you explain? No, I'm joking.
and his neck like popped back, and it's a picture of like me dunking on the kid where like my stuff is on his face, and like I'm.
Oh no!
Okay, there's the picture. I've just seen this picture of TJ dunking. We'll put it up on screen in the edit so you guys can see it. But essentially, this defender has a mouthful of Trejon Jacob's junk. So
he had to go home to his parents after that.
It's crazy because that school is a private school, and we just happened to play them on like a little one-off game or whatever. And I don't know this, but apparently the next team, his rival school, they blew it up.
Yeah,
and hung the picture all around the gym. So when he walked in, that's all he saw.
Oh God! Ultimate troll. This is Trejon Jacob, everyone. Let's say
Thanks,
for
TJ.
Appreciate you, TJ. We'll get you back on the pod at some point further down the line. But until then, you can sit there and enjoy the podcast. And if you do want to get involved in any of the conversation, producer Dan's got a mic over there as well, so you're more than welcome to chime in on anything he wants to say.
Had TJ back to CJ. Here we go.
It's TJ from TJ to CJ. We'll get that right. CJ, we're talking about your time off the court. Let's talk about it on the court. I mean, adjusting to life in Bristol. Have you found that adjustment to playing back in the British Basketball League? Does it compare a lot to Sweden in terms of the style of basketball?
I wouldn't say it compares at all, really. This was the first time I played in the BBL. I didn't get a chance to play before, so I'm still learning, you know, the players, the style, you know, just everything, the officiating, you know, just from everything. But I think where we are right now in terms of just moving forward, I think you can't really ask for anything. The biggest thing is just closing 2023 out, you know, the right way. And
a lot of people say it's the British Basketball League is a lot. I was about to say it then. Obviously, no forfeit for us. A lot of people say the British Basketball League is maybe a bit faster or a bit more physical. Are you noticing that in the few games you've played so far?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's faster, just in terms of a lot more possessions, a lot more faster shots. You know, a lot more. The players are a lot quick hitters and things like that. But you know, you play basketball all your life, so you'll adjust and just figure it out as you go. Luckily, we got some good teammates and good coaching, so they put me in good positions to kind of learn on the fly.
Yeah. And what's it been like playing for Coach Kapoulis? Because how does he compare to maybe some other coaches you've had in your college career or maybe in your pro career?
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing, he's just like a confidence giver, you know, like he understands what to say and when to say it, whether the tone matters, you know, whether it's yelling at us or whether it's just kind of bringing one individual to the side. And I think that a lot of coaches don't really have that because, you know, some want to make it about them or make it about certain players on the team. And he's not really like that. He kind of coaches everyone differently of how they need to be coached. So I think that is the most important thing in coaching, being able to relate to all the players. Like, we're all different. We all came up different, and like, I can't really ask, especially like how fast everything's going. I think he's the perfect fit for me personally.
Let's talk about the characters on the team. The one thing I noticed, actually, and I want to bring this up, is when you signed with the Flyers, obviously put the graphic out on social media, on Instagram. I looked through the comments, and I noticed a comment from Eric Lockett.
Yeah.
Now, Eric Lockett used to play for Flyers for a couple of seasons, a big fan favourite at the club. Am I right in thinking you actually grew up with Eric Lockett?
Yeah, I think I want to remember the actual age. But I've known Eric since like first grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy, isn't
Yeah, we
it?
played on the same like travel team, AAU team, since 5th grade maybe, all the way to 12th grade.
Wow.
So I've known Eric most of my life.
What was he like as a kid growing up?
Goofy, funny.
He's goofy.
Yeah. Nah, Eric's a good guy though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did-
for sure.
I don't like Eric. My wife fancies him. That's literally the truth.
He does.
It's so true, isn't it?
She does. She's the hall pass, Sam, is she?
Yeah, fair enough. Not while he was here in Bristol, though.
Brilliant. But obviously he commented on the post and he said something around like bringing the band back together. Would you ever Would you ever want to play with Eric Lockett again one day?
I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, it was because it was Eric and Zach Copeland.
So yeah, Zach, I was going to mention
yeah.
Zach Copeland as
Yeah.
well because he played for us during the COVID year, the first part of the season. Unfortunately, he got injured
hurt,
for the back end of the season,
Yeah.
but he was with us during the lockdown season as well.
Yeah, so I knew. I guess they played. I'm not sure how they know each other.
They were on the same team together
so
during the
then that's
lockdown
how-
season
yeah,
for
so-
Flyers.
So then I did like a month after my injury in Finland with Zach. So we were on the same team. That's how I know him.
It's crazy. This basketball world, and we say this every single episode, but like, there's always someone that you know from college, or you know from the pros, or that your teammate knows a teammate that you played with, or something like that. There's always like little connection, isn't there? It's actually tiny. You think about it.
And then TJ went to college with Eric.
Yeah, of course you did it. FIU.
Oh, you
So-
did? What? Actually, at the same time as well? No way.
You haven't got a mic, TJ. Media training 101. Come over here. Put it on there.
Yeah, so he was my teammate my sophomore year of college, my first year at FIU.
Wow.
That's how I know Eric.
That's crazy. It
And
is
now
actually
we're-
crazy,
And now
isn't
we're
it?
roommates.
There we go. That's great. And now you're roommates.
The triangle.
Yeah, that is crazy. Did you like reach out to any of those guys, like Eric, for example, like when Coach Capoulas reached out to you and said, "Look, you know, we want to bring you in at Bristol." I know it was all quick, but did you have a chance to speak to him before you signed at all? Or?
Well, I kind of talked to Eric. I wouldn't say like daily, but like enough to not have to do that. But it was so fast, I didn't really have time to reach out. But after like everything kind of settled in, I definitely talked to him a little bit about it, and just like more so, not even like the basketball, just like you said, like places to go. Eric's like this huge coffee drinker.
Oh my God, he loves it. He's obsessed with Borough Bristol. You know the coffee shop that the Bears guys own.
Borough. Oh, yeah.
So he used to go Borough all the time. He said it was really good.
It is. I mean, it's a really. Have you not been there
No,
yet?
I'm
have
not
you?
a coffee drinker.
Are you
though.
not?
No.
Oh, okay. Eric used to love that place.
Eric should have been here. We have one of our sponsors on the kit is Clifton Coffee Roasters, and last year we did a big tour and they took us around, drunk all these different types of coffee, and Eric would have loved that. The others were like, the first question they asked all like 10 of them that was there is like, so who likes coffee? Silence, and they're like, maybe I'll have coffee like with 6 sugars in or something. So that's what this lot were like.
That's crazy because like it's like the year after Eric left and we get a big coffee company to sponsor us. It's
Shout out
like,
to Eric.
unlucky, you just missed out by a season, Eric. We want to give a shout out to those guys, by the way, because obviously Eric and Zach Copeland as well. They are just 2 of 5 former Bristol Flyers players right now that are playing in the German Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Which is massive. Like in terms of like progression for your career, you know, you go Bristol Flyers and you then go to the Bundesliga. That's a massive league in Europe. It's huge.
And they're both doing well, so that's really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, like, and so Eric's playing for Rostock Seawolves. Zach Copeland's playing for Bamberg. You know who else is playing for Bamberg? Justin Gray.
Oh, Justin
So
Gray.
they're on the same team. They're on the same team right now. Justin used to play for us.
2017-18,
2018. I'm gonna say. I think it was.
Famous last shot to win the game with his foot this far out of bounds and the rest didn't call it.
Yeah, against Sheffield as well. Against Sheffield.
You see, it's not even like when you can't even argue it. You're like, yep, he's out of bounds by this far,
They
and
just
they just missed
They
it.
just missed it completely. We watched it back on the highlights. And I'm like, he's out of bounds. He's
take
like really out of
But at least
bounds.
it was a long shot as well because it's not like it's close to the edge. So yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, shout out to him. A couple other players playing in the Bundesliga right now. VJ King, of course. Hamburg Towers. They're playing in Euro Cup this season.
He's doing real well right now.
He is
as
doing
well,
really
isn't he?
well. So again, another former Bristol Flyers player playing in the German Bundesliga. Also, got to give a shout out to SGS Basketball Academy's very own Dean Williams playing in the Bundesliga for Oldenburg. So shout out to them. It's like I say, great to see the progression coming through the Flyers pathway and now representing in the Bundesliga.
One day, Joel, people are going to be like, "Oh, I played for this team, and then I progressed to play through to the Bristol Flyers after that." You know, it will be that way.
One day. CJ, before we get to our quickfire questions segment, we do a little section with all our guests called Run It Back. And we like to learn more about your background and how you got into playing basketball. Am I right in thinking you were born in Georgia, but that you actually moved to LA at a very young age? Is that right?
Like a month after.
Yeah. And were you always playing basketball? Is it right your dad actually was a high school coach?
Yeah, he played basketball. Like, I was born in Athens, Georgia, because he played basketball at University of Georgia.
Wow.
And so after I was born, both of my parents are from LA, so we just moved back. And he coached high school there. I'm not sure how long. I was young, but
yeah,
he coached there for a while, and then he ended up getting a college coaching job, and so we moved back to Georgia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you still is he still coaching now?
No, he's not coaching anymore.
No.
Yeah, he stepped away from the game.
Yeah, I imagine that must be quite good growing up when your dad's just basketball coach. So it's like it's just ingrained in your family, just basketball. Was it always basketball?
Always. Well, no, I played all sports, but it was always basketball. It was always basketball.
Did he coach you as well growing up?
So he coached me up until maybe around like 7th grade, and then, I mean, he had his coaching going on as well, so it wasn't like he was just strictly about me.
Yeah. Would you often get it after a game where you'd sit down here and watch game tape and then be like,
no, it wasn't that serious.
No.
I mean, by the time I got there, I kind of already understood, the game and everything, so it wasn't that. But he definitely had more pointers than the average dad, I would say.
Yeah.
And you had a hoop at home that you would play one-on-one?
No, not so much. My dad's he's not like a small person, so I don't know. I probably couldn't beat my dad until maybe like 15. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd have things to say about that.
No,
I reckon he'd be the beater.
Yeah, he'd probably still say to this day he could, but
I'll have to see it one-on-one.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Can you remember how old you were when you actually first started playing? Because were you playing at a young age?
Like organized basketball?
Yeah, I guess so. Because I guess some people sort of pick it up really early and then they actually don't play proper 5-on-5 until like a certain age, I guess.
I'd say my first real season, I was like 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
3?
3.
Wow. That's really young.
But how old are you now?
27.
Wow.
That is really young, isn't it?
Whoa.
No, it's good though. I think because we have players in the team that don't start playing until 15, but it's just crazy how different players they all end up playing in the same league, but they just don't start playing until different age groups. So it just goes to show, like any kids that are listening to
Anybody
the podcast,
that
anyone could do it, even if you're up to 17, even 18 potentially. You can if you've got the talent level, if you've got the IQ, you can play at a high level.
Yeah, definitely. Just especially if you work at it, you stick with it. It's really get opportunity.
100%. Let's talk college. Obviously, you played college ball for Ohio State, the Buckeyes. For those that don't really know Ohio State, this is one of the biggest college powerhouses in all of college basketball.
I'd say the biggest.
Yeah. Well, of course
you would.
The biggest.
You're biased, man.
No bias intended. Just I'd say we're the biggest.
I say Duke. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Did you have any college offers at all? Because you hit the JUCO route, is that right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a long story, but I did 1 year at JUCO at Eastern Florida, and then recruitment blew up.
Yeah.
Eastern Florida, all the other way on the other side of the United States from home.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a long old way as well, isn't it?
It was more so for it's easy to travel, but my parents weren't able to see that many games physically. Everything was TV until my senior year. Well, senior year they were able to make a lot more, and then especially when we traveled on the road, it was tough for them to come to the road games, and because we leave right after the game, so it was just not a lot of time for them to see that.
Yeah.
But
what was JUCO like? Because a lot of people, I don't know if you see Last Chance U, the basketball one on Netflix. Is it anything like that, or is that just an over-exaggerated version of what JUCO is like?
I mean, I feel like everyone's experience is different. It just depends on where you are. Obviously, that situation is. Last Chance U is that. But for us, it wasn't really like that. It was, everyone, you can go from horror stories to, my experience was great. We were 5 minutes from the beach, great weather, spring break all the time. It was just
that sounds amazing.
Our team was, really good. We were top 10 the whole year. Like everyone on the team ended up going like high Division 1. So like
That's amazing.
I would say my JUCO experience is, not less chance you.
Yeah, because that's the goal, isn't it, for everyone in JUCO is to progress out there. Like it's basically, it essentially is a stepping stone for people to get into D1 colleges, and then you ended up going to the big time. Talk to us about like, do you have many offers going into that, or was it always
like going into JUCO?
Yeah, no, going into college, so out of JUCO. Do you have many offers from other schools?
Yeah.
Who did you have offers from?
I took visits to UConn, and I took a visit to Missouri, and then obviously Ohio State. But I guess you could say if I had like a top 5-ish or whatever, but it was between like them and then maybe like UCLA and Florida. So it was just
wow. And did you actually do a visit to Ohio State, or did you?
I did a visit after I committed.
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't even go and check it out
didn't need to
first,
go.
just off the name and listening,
need to
speaking
go.
to the coach and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then he went and hated it.
It was the worst time of my life.
Well, you spent 3 years there, so surely it was a great time.
Yeah.
And one of the players that British Basketball League fans might know that you played on the same team as you, again, small world, Mark Loving.
Yeah, Mark Loving. He was my senior, my first year there when we got there.
Wow.
What a player, hey?
Yeah. I love Mark, though. He's a great guy.
You still in touch with him now?
Yeah, I just talked to Mark because he just signed with a new team. He was in Israel, unfortunately, so he had to go home because of all the stuff going on.
Yeah.
But he's just signed with his new team, and so I reached out to him and congratulated him. He also reached out to me after he saw I signed with Bristol.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice, amazing. See, that's the small basketball world again. Everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
Great. It's a great little community, isn't it?
Mark Loving, the hardest man to match up against, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know if he's a 4-man or if he's like a 2-man, right?
Honestly, when I first got to school, he was the 2-man.
Really?
Yeah, and he's like 6'9".
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Jeez.
Yeah, but who D's him up? Because he shoots so well, but he's
everything.
massive, isn't it?
Yeah. There's really not much he can't do.
Are there any other guys in from your maybe you met at college that that are playing like in the British Basketball League now, or maybe even names that Flyers fans might recognise, for example, at all?
We actually played Trejon in college.
Did
He
you?
went to Illinois.
Yeah, of course.
And then Kipper Nichols, we played him as well.
Yeah, because they were on the same team at
they're on the
Illinois
same
together.
team,
That's
so
right.
We played them.
Well, I didn't know that.
Trejon was the first person I reached out to when I signed here.
Really?
Because of that. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I
Nice.
knew, I was like, okay, I know a name.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him. Trying to think, do I know anyone else?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Not off the top of my head.
So that's crazy, isn't it? Like the whole connection thing. It just shows that it's just tiny basketball world.
Small world.
And now here you are. Of course, you had that spell at Leicester Riders, and you had, I think it was like one game, wasn't it, for
Yeah, it was
Leicester,
one
and
game.
then you sort of ended up going back home, and then didn't quite work out, and then you had the spell back in Yampland last season,
Yes.
and now here you are again in the British Basketball League, making a killing. Love it.
A bit of a knight in shining armor as well. All the injuries we got, we needed someone in, didn't we? And so it was amazing that you'd already had those connections.
Yeah.
You got on the plane right away.
Yeah.
But like it's been good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been amazing. Yeah, really enjoyable. Right, shall we get? I'm aware we've gone like way over time here. It's because obviously TJ came in the pod and
Classic.
made it fun.
He's always
Blimey,
making it about
TJ.
himself. No, I'm joking.
Blimey, TJ. We have our Quickfire Questions segment to get to, and CJ, with every guest we have on the podcast, we put 30 seconds up on the clock. They have to answer as many questions as they possibly can about. Sometimes it's about themselves, sometimes it's like preferences. It's just an absolute bunch of nonsense, and we try and count the winner. Producer Dan, the leader, has 11. Is that right?
It is 11, yeah.
11 points for the leader, which is. Do you remember who that was?
We're so bad. We should write this down.
You
We
probably
really
should
We're
write
literally
this
the worst.
down.
We just try and remember. Well, it wasn't Les, was it?
Well,
No.
it's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
RGB got 9.
Remember Mike Miller for last season? Is that right?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
Maybe. Rings a bell. Right. So, in order to get ready for quickfire questions, we have to bring the lights down low. Are you ready with the soundboard, Sam?
Yeah, always.
Let's do it. Okay, CJ, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock. You're going to have to answer as many questions as you can in that time limit. Your time starts now. What's your favourite part of being a pro basketball player?
Winning games.
How many times a day do you wander into the kitchen?
3 times.
What is your guilty pleasure?
2K.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
2 sisters.
LeBron or Kobe?
Kobe.
What is the best age to start playing basketball?
1.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Swedish food or English food?
Swedish.
Have you ever dunked in a game?
No.
Who is the funniest player on the team?
Tevo.
Oh, yes.
1, 2, 3,
That's 10.
4. That's 10.
Yeah.
Jesus Dan's put 10 fingers up in the studio. Congratulations, you got 10. You were 1 shy of beating the record.
Can't be honest with you, Joe. I'm glad it was only 10 because we only had 10 questions.
Yeah, me too. I'm lucky about that because, we literally had 10 questions.
Were you trying to make one up in your
So I
head
really
then?
couldn't.
Well, I was going to think then.
So I really couldn't win.
Well, who would have thought one on the spot?
Okay.
Who's your favourite podcast host?
Ooh, Dan.
Oh!
Yeah, it is.
Dan, there you go.
Go on, Dan, tell us what you think. Oh, wait, I've muted you, so it doesn't matter.
Producer Dan, how does that sound, mate? You're TJ's favourite podcast host.
Straight off the dome when he didn't even think about it. He just knew.
there we go. 10 is your score. Many congratulations, CJ. That puts you in 2nd place in our quickfire questions. Producer Dan, if you can get the lights back to blue, please. Thank you very much.
He shouldn't be your favourite. He should have done that without us asking. So actually, he should be your least favourite for that.
There we go. Right, Sam, should we get to this week's news?
Yup.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hey Flyers fans, we want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors WebGains, who help make this podcast possible. WebGains is an affiliate marketing network who bring businesses and affiliates together to grow and succeed.
The Bristol Flyers are all about teamwork, and that's exactly what WebGains are about too. They're like the assist that helps your business score big.
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur or have a business of your own that sells products online? If so, WebGains is here to help. They connect businesses with top affiliates, from cashback giants like Top Cashback to niche bloggers in your vertical, who can promote your products and services, reaching a wider audience and driving more revenue.
And here's the slam dunk, Flyers fans. WebGains provides you with detailed reports and analytics to track the performance of your affiliate marketing campaigns, making it easy to see results of your hard work and investments.
Whether you're a local business or an international brand, WebGains has the expertise and network to take your marketing efforts to the next level. They're passionate about helping businesses grow, just like we're passionate about our team's success, Sam.
So if you're ready to skyrocket your online presence and drive more sales, visit webgains.com and see how they can assist you in scoring big in the world of affiliate marketing.
That's webgains.com, webgains.com. Give your business the assist it needs with WebGains Affiliate Network.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, time for us to look at what's been going on around the British Basketball League, and this is where the podcast gets fun.
I could turn around Joel's laptop and show you his notes. We've got no notes on what we're going to talk about. So essentially, the news is what the heck happened on Saturday night.
There you go, there's nothing there. This is my notes for the game. You can't really see it. There's nothing on my notes.
Nothing. We'll start with Sheffield, Joel.
Let's start by talking about Flyers taking on the Sheffield Sharks. A massive comeback victory. It was a low score. I'll tell you what, this game, until the last, 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, this game was a boring game to watch.
I can't lie. Not a lot happened. We were 1 from 14 from the 3-point
It
line.
was just one of those games earlier.
And it was low scoring as
Yeah.
hell as well. It was the lowest scoring game I've seen. I think it's always like that between Flyers and
What was
Sharks,
the final
though, isn't
score?
it? The final score was 78-76 after overtime.
Yeah, that's so bad. That's so bad.
That's like a normal regulation score.
Luckily, they were missing 2.
I want to get to the last 2 minutes in a set, but literally as 2.5 minutes was up on the clock, there was a timeout, and I saw this dad and his daughter walk out in front of me like, we're losing by, I think we were down by 12 at that point. It might have even been 10.
It was 12, 13.
And he just, I saw him leave, and I was just like, do you know what? Fair play to him. She was so young. Like, I was like, so I saw him again last night, and I went up to him and went, can't believe he left. He went, I got home, I turned on thinking we'd see the final result, and it was still going on. He was livid. So
Did he pop it on YouTube?
Maybe he can teach her to never give up.
Yes. never back down, never what? Never give up.
She was about 3, and it was an 8 p.m.
That's a great
tip.
lesson for her. That's a great lesson.
Amazing. Do turn it on then when they got home. Watch
Yeah, you watched the rest of it. So, but look, that last, I'll say it right now. Before I think it was Leslie's first 3 went in. It was 1 minute 50 on the clock, and we were down by 10.
Yeah.
10 points. I was looking like, sheesh. Like we don't regularly get these turnarounds in the last however long minute and a minute and a half. Les hit that 3 and it went from there, hey?
Yeah.
I've never seen, in my 10 years at the club, a comeback like that at the SGS College Arena. Like, it was double digits with just over a minute to go. And then that dunk, that Leslie to TJ dunk, sparks the run.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's getting involved. Clutch shots, like Les with a big 3 off the glass.
Well, no, before, so
Tevo
it went
tie
Les
it.
with the 3. It went Tevo with the next 3.
Yeah.
It then went, and I think, did they then get free throws? One, and they made
I
one
think they
free
made
throw.
1 for 2, yeah.
1 from 2, and then but Les had the last minute or last second shot off the bank off the glass, which was disgusting.
I can't remember because I think TJ got an and 1-3 in the.
that was in
OT.
overtime.
That was in
OT.
overtime.
Yeah.
It feels like
Wasn't
all
it?
just one like.
So
group of
yeah, it does.
just-
Tevo tied it in the last possession.
Yeah, with
and
the-
TJ,
yeah,
if you can
yeah,
get if you can get the mic, TJ, this bit in OT, essentially, talk us through that extra period, TJ, because that I mean, you hit the first 4-point play, and then you hit another one which could have easily been a 4-point play as well.
Yeah. At that point in time, we let Tev work out. I mean, he was getting anything he wanted to, whether it was a shot or he was getting the lane. And I saw my man, he committed to the block, I think he was, and he left a shooter, which is a cardinal sin in the corner. And for some reason, I like that right corner.
Yeah.
And it was all over from there. I felt it leave my hands, and I was like, yeah, that's good. I know that's good automatically.
Mate, that bucket must have been looking like an ocean for you out there.
Oh, absolutely. I was, because I think I hit maybe one before that, but I mean, as coaching the guy, I said I always like keep shooting it. You know, if I'm open, and I was naked in the corner, so I was like, I have no other choice. And then on the last one from Rowe, I mean, I think it was like 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and I was like, look, somebody got to shoot it. It might as well be me. Like I said, it was the right corner, and after that left, I knew it was good. I started backing up instantly. And it was cash.
Yeah.
I watched back the first one. Well, I've watched them all back. I've watched it back about 3 times. I loved it so much. But I was like, did you drop too easy? But he proper kicked your feet out, didn't he? In that first one, especially.
Yeah. So how he landed like on my right foot and like swept it under me.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I fell. I mean, I sold it a little bit, but you know.
Always got to do that, though,
You know
haven't
what I'm
you?
saying?
Well, I do like to talk about the overtime, but the thing that happened before that, the weirdest thing was obviously Les got the 3, the bank one, and then they went to throw it in bounds. I was kind of looking the wrong way. Or I looked up and Tev had the ball.
Oh, yeah, he got a steal,
and then they called the
Yeah. I think it
double
caught him.
dribble.
I think it caught the ref off guard a little bit. Like he was surprised he had it.
Yeah.
Like, and then he just like, oh, this can't be right. So
Yeah.
he had to make a call.
But then he overturned it.
I don't think I've ever seen that either. An
Right.
overturned like violation, like not a foul or something. Like he overturned a double dribble.
It wasn't. The reaction from the crowd and from the coaches was like the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think also. I mean, to call a double dribble in that situation, you have to be certain.
Yeah.
You have to be 100%
100%.
bang on certain.
He said inverted whistle is like you can't have that with 10 seconds. To
Yeah,
go.
in a
You
game
just can't have that,
that's
yeah.
going down to the crunch, right? And they actually called 2 travels. It was the second
Yeah.
one.
He called a
It was
double dribble
it
on
was
you as well.
TJ.
It wasn't. I mean, it could have been called as a travel. I've actually watched it back. I don't actually think it was a travel, but you can see why they'd called it. But they called a double, right?
Yeah, a double. I don't know how it was a double because I didn't even start dribbling yet. So
Yeah.
I was confused. I was like, you know what?
It's one of those ones that looks awkward when you watch it,
Yeah.
but when you
Yeah.
actually break it down, you watch it. Like it's actually, I think it's legitimate. It's like legit. It's not even a violation.
Yeah, I think it's just the way my steps were and like how I put the ball on the ground before I landed.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what got him. Like I skipped with it as well, so that's probably why they had to call something. It looked bad, so they had to call it.
But I think you have to be bang on to have like 2 calls like that down the stretch. You have to be bang on certain.
Especially coming off the last game.
Yeah, 100%. And with the last
I
game
was
and the
like,
Caledonia game, when you in the late game,
Yeah.
and like I think in that situation, like the referee's almost they're expecting a foul in that situation.
Yeah.
But we've had that situation before against Juventus where we don't late game foul and we get a steal from like Corey, for example. So we've not done that with, I guess, like coaches like give it a few seconds and then if they're gonna hold it up, then foul. Because if you can get a turnover in the first 2 seconds, you can go end to end and like win the game.
it was. I can't even. The whole thing was just mind blowing. The big thing we got to talk about here, though, 7 blocks.
Oh,
from
yeah.
our boy Leslie Smith, and 3
They
of them
weren't even like blocks though. They were like
swipes.
Yeah, they were like spikes.
Yeah, and I have to give a shout out to Tahir Hajat on commentary for this game, because if you watch the game back and you listen to some of the bars that he's spitting on the commentary, it's literally like he's doing a rap. He's like, Leslie Smith swiping left on Tinder, like. It's like really funny.
That was that one, because the last 2 blocks were huge. Obviously, the one to stop the last 2
The
shots
last
going
one,
up.
yeah.
But before that, he did the weirdest
Yeah.
swipe. The ball went at about 1,000,000 miles an hour in a straight line away
Yeah.
from everyone. So, yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So it obviously went down to the wire. The 78-76 in OT. Arguably game of the season. I've not seen a game that crazy. I mean, a quarter of a game, if not a fifth of a game.
Yeah.
The rest of the game was rubbish. So game of the season, I'd say, or ending of the season at least. And that result snapped the 5-game losing streak for the Flyers in the British Basketball League. Improved to 9-9 on the season. Of course, Leslie Smith, big double-double, as you said, 13 points, 11 boards, and a club record 7 blocks. That's a new club record.
I would have loved a triple-double where the third stat was blocks and not assists. That's just crazy, isn't it?
Have you ever seen that in a game before? You've been in a game where someone's got a triple-double with blocks?
Maybe once.
Is it?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, isn't it? You never see that.
Nah, it's rare though. It's very rare.
Yeah.
Even 7 is crazy. Like,
Yeah. Well, the previous record was 6, and you know who that was set by, Sam?
Can you tell me what year it was?
2014-15.
Oh, so
It's our first year in the British Basketball League.
was it Doug?
No, it was a Leaf Bland.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, of course it
He
was.
actually led the league in blocks that season as well.
Yeah.
Little fun fact for you there, Flyers fans. If you listened to it on the broadcast yesterday, because Gareth might put it on the broadcast as well.
Yeah, don't listen to you.
So yeah, massive game. Our guy TJ over there, 20 points off the bench and some ridiculously crazy threes down the stretch. Cool. And then that obviously takes us to that's that for that game wrapped up. Spent a lot of time in that one. Obviously we had the game on last night as well. I want to talk about this one as well. And again, this one felt like it was going in a similar direction to the Sheffield game. It was very low scoring early on, wasn't it?
It was very low. I don't think there was just a lot of shot making from both teams early on. I guess it was 29-29 at the half.
Yeah.
So it's, definitely a defensive game. And every basket in those kind of game matters. Every possession matters.
Yeah. I mean,
Apart from that one moment, I think it was early in the second one, we went 4 from 4 from behind the line.
I think that kind of like opened it up for us. Like, okay, like maybe we can make shots today.
yeah. I think TJ hit one to start the second,
Yeah,
and then
he hit
Les got
one.
one from the baseline.
And
Raph
then
hit one.
Yeah.
And then Raph hit another one. Is that right?
Yeah, and then also there was a mini.
Yeah, Raph hit 2.
Yeah,
And
And there was a mini run like that as well in the third, where RGB hit 2 in a row,
he did.
and then Raph hit one on the buzzer as well.
Yeah.
On the shot clock.
RGB was having fun last night, wasn't it? He had a nice dunk, didn't he?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, he
massive.
did. He
Yeah.
did.
It was, and TJ as well getting involved in the on the transition dunks. A couple of games back to back now. You're getting some of those transition breakaway jams.
I always know when TJ's going to do something good because he's like broken away. And I'll tell you what, actually, before that, I watched his eyes for about 3 seconds before you stole it. I knew you wanted that steal. You were there creeping behind him, like, I'm going to sneak behind and pop it away. And then you do this little look behind you, like, I'm going to do something cool. I'm going to do something cool like this. And then, yeah, he does something cool.
There's also something else you tried to do, which is quite interesting. I don't know if Coach benched you for this. In transition, tried to do that round the back pass. Round the back pass. Can we talk about that for a second?
Nah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Let's
one.
leave that behind.
What were you
us.
trying to do there, TJ? I don't understand.
Honestly, I tried to get the big up in the air, and I saw Brad and RGB behind me. So I was thinking like, oh, if I just lightly pass it behind me, like it'll get to somebody. But I put a little bit too much force
A little bit too
and
much.
in the wrong direction, and it went to the corner. I was looking like, well,
At least it went out of bounds.
Can you imagine if someone was in the corner, though, and you were like, yeah, meant it? Totally meant that.
it's crazy because I think it was Les and Tevos at the same. They was like, it would have been a dime if somebody was in the corner, but like you were passing the Casper, so like, what were you doing, bro?
Yeah.
I had to try it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the rest of this game. I mean, there was I'm looking at the free throw percentages, by the way. We had 4 trips to the free throw line in that whole game.
4.
We're 2 for 4 from the foul line. They were 12 for 18. We spoke also. Gareth and I spoke about this a lot last night in the broadcast. The 3-point field goal percentage. We shot 38%, 12 for 31.
It's all right.
They shot 4 for 24 from behind the 3-point line.
They shot 4 from 24.
One of those nights, mate. You know what their rims are like at SGS, I tell you. Ralph Thomas Edwards, 16 points, 8 rebounds to lead the way. MVP performance from him. He gets the Clifton Coffee bag as being MVP. RGB with a great game as well for the Bristol Flyers. 14 points, 6 rebounds for him. 3 players finishing in double figures. And it's a great all-round performance, which we were able to really pull away in that sort of fourth quarter down the stretch there.
And the important thing is we've now gone to 3-1 in the ENBL.
Yeah, top of Group A.
Yep.
Which is massive.
Yeah, got a few big games. Back and Bears has joined us now, which you talked about. Heard their playing budget yesterday, Joel, which is disgusting. So they're going to have some decent players on their team, but we'll see.
Well, that game's on Tuesday, January 9th. So if you want to get tickets for that game, do so over at bristolflyers.co.uk. Tickets are going fast, so go snap them up. Get them for Christmas for a loved one. Go watch some Flyers hoops together. Make sure you get tickets for that. And then obviously that was our last home game of 2023 as well. So we're on the road now for the rest of December, starting this Friday. We travel to Newcastle Eagles, and we're heading up on Thursday, aren't we?
Yeah. Tomorrow.
It is, tomorrow at the time of recording.
Flipping out.
Not Thursday, tomorrow.
So this podcast will probably come out on Thursday. So it'll be going up today if you listen to the podcast. On the podcast.
We're on the way.
We're on the way right now. How's preparations been going, CJ? Because I imagine you haven't had much time to prep for Newcastle after last night.
Just more so focusing on the body today. Just trying to recover from last night and Saturday because they've been high intensity games. Even I can't remember when the Caledonia game, what day of the
Thursday.
week. So like they're coming back to back and just trying to make sure we're in shape to play, keep guys fresh as possible, and we really just need to focus on ourselves with how fast the games are coming and focus on what we can do to get better, especially like it's December, still a lot of time left in the season. So we just got to really focus on what we can do to get better game by game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that game, don't forget, is on Sky Sports, so you can go watch that for it's also for free on the Sky Sports YouTube channel as well.
Very nice.
So go check it out on there. Big Sky game. Love a Sky game, Sam.
Love a Sky game.
Also, big news around the British Basketball League this past week is that the league has announced a new American broadcast deal with the Yes Network. And that is over in... Yes, they have. They're on Yes now. And that is over in New York and Boston?
Boston?
Did I say? I don't know.
Boston.
Boston
Tea Party.
Boston.
Yeah.
You've been there?
You've been there?
Don't even like coffee.
Oh, I have been there.
Banging place to go.
I like a little breakfast, a little omelet breakfast.
Coach K loves a Boston Tea Party. He absolutely loves it. That's what he does on his team meetings with players, I heard.
Well, maybe we should do a deal with them. Maybe. Steve Devereaux.
Yeah, Steve
Yes.
Devereaux, if you're listening.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes.
And that's all I've got for my news segment. So it's time for us to...
Well, I was going to say, for people that didn't have any news, we probably did the longest news section we've ever done.
Oh, well, we're just chatting about the games. We want to chat about the games a bit. But yeah, that's it for our news. Let's get to the mailbag.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, time for us to wrap up this week's episode of the Bristol Flyers Podcast with our mailbag segment. And CJ, before you came on the pod, we asked fans to send in questions on social media. We've got some great questions come through on the IG. First question here is from Matt 07551, who actually is Matt Childs, Schnatman Matt, from the Bristol Sport
Love
office. That. Matt wants to know: Do you have a favourite American wrestler?
Like
WWE.
Yeah, or like AEW or WWE.
Raw.
The Undertaker.
Undertaker, great shout.
Oh, we should have Undertaker music on here.
No, let's not. Did you did you ever watch it as a kid?
Yeah,
WWE?
for sure.
Yeah, oh mate.
I feel like you had to.
Yeah, WWF era.
Yeah.
Rock, Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
Yeah, that was there.
Hardys, Dudleys.
Yeah.
We had all the games as well, like on
Yeah.
PlayStation
Oh
2,
my
I think.
goodness.
No, PlayStation 1, maybe. I don't know, but it was amazing, whatever it was.
We actually got a trampoline for Christmas once, and we would go back there, all my friends, and practice.
Oh, build your own ring.
Practice, yeah.
They say don't try it at home, apparently.
Yeah.
But you know,
That's the perfect place to try it.
on the trampoline, suplex through the trampoline.
Oh, we got in so much trouble with it. Our problem was we got a trampoline that our parents were like, to be safe, we'll put a net around the outside, which made it worse.
Yeah, you can.
Way worse. We try all sorts of dumb stuff, you know? Good though.
Sam, would you like to ask the next question here?
Okay, what food? Well, this is from Wacko Menace. Don't know if you know who that is. No, maybe not.
No.
What food do you miss the most from back home?
Ooh, that's tough. Like restaurant or like just.
I guess anything really. Snacks, food.
Well, I'm a big
meals.
candy guy, so
You love Snack Man Matt
I
then.
love candy.
What sort of candy?
Lifesavers,
Never heard of them.
Sour Punch straws.
Is that like Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, but they're like in straw form.
Oh really? Oh wow.
You found anything like that here?
No.
They do.
I haven't got to see like enough candy here though.
There are some stores that
but no
do, like-
chocolate. Not a big.
You don't like chocolate?
No chocolate.
What's wrong with you?
More like gummies and
Okay. There are some stores in the UK that do like the import. They import the American.
the
There's one
candy.
on North Street out here. Have you seen that one on North Street?
Yeah, but it's like you go buy like an American packet of crisps, chips, and they're like £4 or something.
Yeah, that's because they got to pay the import on them.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you also get
That's
the,
not bad though. I'll take those.
But you get the Fanta. Like the Fanta, like Tango.
Yeah.
Like it's like bright orange in the States, but like here it's like yellow.
Yeah, because we got rules about what we're, about what we put in our body. But in America, they don't seem to care, do they?
Free for all.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Next question we've got here. Again, Wacko Menace. Shout out Wacko Menace. Couple of questions. What shoes are you playing in right now?
Like
Like we're hooping in.
yesterday, I think I wore the Kobe's. The game before, I think I wore the Kyries.
Do you have like a little rotation? Do you?
Just honestly, it depends on how I'm feeling. Just depends on how heavy my legs are. My legs felt super light yesterday, so I was like, Kobe's.
You're only
Light
allowed to wear shoes starting with K, though, right? Kobe, Kyrie, Cat,
KD.
KD. Yeah.
KD, yeah, all the Ks.
Does Cat have shoes?
I don't think so.
I don't
hope
think so.
not.
No, I don't think so.
wouldn't
I think he wears,
I
like,
wouldn't wear
KDs.
those. I think he does wear like KDs or like Hyperfuse or something.
Yeah.
He is balling right now. So.
Yeah, he is.
So how many have you got like to choose from? So if you're picking like out your shoes on game day, like
four.
Four
I
different
think
pairs?
4 here. Yeah.
oh nice.
Yeah.
You have to do you, and I imagine you've probably got more back home.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They
And
just
just
couldn't pack them all. Yeah.
I remember TJ over there. He used to buy a new pair every season. He actually gave away a pair of Kobe Grinches to one of our fans.
Yeah, that's
like,
wild.
He didn't wear. I said that to him last time on the podcast. It's
I've
crazy.
given away a couple of shoes, but the Grinches would have to stay home with me.
I mean, they were used Grinches though, right?
In my defense, I did have 2 pair. So
You had a second pair of Grinches.
I did, yeah.
Have you seen the new red ones? The pink,
Yeah,
the
those
pink
are
ones.
nice.
And I'm definitely
The
planning on
reverse
getting them.
Grinches.
Yeah.
I'm trying at least. I'm trying to get the red ones that release in like a week and a half or 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Is it? That'll go really well with our kit, you know.
I need it.
I'm getting those
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
Little Christmas present.
Hey, we could have a whole team wearing Kobe Grinches, the reverse Grinches here.
That'd be nice.
We can get a little Kobe deal.
How are you? Yeah, that's what we could do. Get Steve involved with Kobe.
Yeah. That'll 100% want to work with us.
How do you go about getting those? Are they on the sneakers app? Is that you, or are you just getting them from a reseller?
Yeah, I got a guy back home. I wouldn't even bring those over here. Those are too.
I
I probably wouldn't touch those for a couple years.
Yeah. Because they're probably not going to release many more of those, I guess, are they?
No, probably not.
No. Right, Sam. Last question here. You'd like to read this one?
So from Tash Puddy, she wants to know favorite all-time career moment and favorite current Flyers moment.
All-time career moment. It's tough.
Do it the other way around. Do the Flyers moment first.
Flyers moment.
It's been quite a few the last
Yeah,
month.
that's
hasn't
what
it?
it's been
Some
tough.
pretty good highs.
I guess you can go Sheffield easily.
Yeah.
Like that's. I mean,
It's like
I feel like that's a given a little bit.
yeah, but I think also, I mean, again, like for Flyers fans, I feel like that first European win is like, although it wasn't as close a game, like that's just something
Yeah,
that's
that was
been
big for the club.
Yeah, it's just been like in the making for like years,
Yeah.
and then to finally have a game, not only host a game at SGS and then win a game at SGS. I imagine everyone was buzzing about that. So
Especially playing well in the ENBL. Like it's not like that was our first win in the I guess the league. So
Yeah.
we're doing well in the league.
And in ENBL especially, your Poland performance was disgusting, wasn't it?
I think that was my first win too, so
Was it?
that would be up there.
yeah. I'll tell you what, I was chatting to Edgar Zanders yesterday because I ran up to SGS straight after the game. Shout out Edgar's, because I know he's a listener of the podcast because he told me last night he listens to the podcast.
He talked to me. He said, "I feel like chatting to you. I feel like I know you because I talk." And I'm like, "Never met before, but it was a great time."
Hey, if he listens to us regularly, we know everyone, okay? So
We'll get him on next year,
He
Joel.
is part of the Flyers family. I think he's coming down. He's mentioned to me he might be coming down for the Back and Bears
Yeah,
game.
on the
So
9th.
if he is down, Edgar's, we are going to get you on the podcast and do an ENBL themed episode because he is the official title is the Secretary General. Is that right?
That's a great name.
It's like the chief executive, but I think the official title is the Secretary General.
The Secretary General. You didn't tell us your life best moment though.
Let's hear it.
Moment. I don't know. In high school, we won state championship. We won 30-0. In college,
30-0.
30
Is that fun?
Yeah. It was a good year. It was a good year. In college, I hit a game winner at Indiana, which was pretty sick because
Wow, that's huge for basketball.
yeah, it was. I want to say they have like 18,000.
Yeah.
So
So you silenced an 18,000
Yeah.
person crowd.
yeah,
Who's the Ohio State big rivalry?
the team up north, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You don't say the full name, do you?
Can't right now. It's a little sour taste in my mouth.
Are
right
they
now.
are they playing better than you right now?
I wouldn't. I would. It's biased.
Yeah.
It's very biased. I wouldn't. I think we're playing well.
I like that you don't say the full name. That's funny.
No, it's an X. Like we put the X over it.
Now's a bad time to say I actually have a Michigan T-shirt.
Yeah, you might want to throw that. We can get you some like Buckeye
If you can get me
gear.
some
Yeah,
Buckeye
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
send me some Buckeye stuff and I'll wear that, okay?
Yeah.
Because my Michigan stuff is,
It's cold outside. That doesn't really keep you warm.
Yeah. You can send me some, send me through some stuff and we'll go from there. Producer Dan, one last question from you at all for TJ Jackson?
Yes, and I've got a food-related question,
Go
just
on.
because I'm feeling quite hungry. Who puts away the most in the squad? Who eats the most food that you've seen? Or who has the worst eating habits?
Worst eating habits. I wouldn't know that question. I wouldn't know
Or
that.
who eats the most?
The plate I've seen the most full is probably Brad. Yeah, his plate is not like, it's probably like, average. It probably goes like this high.
What?
Wow.
That's like, on.
Yeah.
Just do that again. CJ Jackson would actually put
Maybe
like
the
a good,
height of the mic.
nearly a foot tall.
Yeah. But I mean, he kind of has to, he kind of has to.
With what,
He's
though?
our-
What's he putting on there? Is this when you go to, like, low and slow? Is he just filling his plate
Or
up
like
with...
just like team meals.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just.
Hey, you got to take full advantage.
But I don't think it's bad food on there. It's just a lot.
No.
Yeah.
Big man's got to eat. I'd love to know how many calories he eats in a day.
Yeah.
Big man's got to eat. On that note, I thought a great place for us to wrap up this week's episode of the podcast.
I got one thing. Shout out to my mom. It's her birthday this weekend.
Is it actually?
December 10th, yes. Yeah.
What's your mum's name?
Trejon Jackson.
Happy birthday for
Happy
this weekend
birthday.
for everyone at Bristol Flyers.
Yes.
And on that note, we will wrap up the podcast. CJ, thank you so much for spending time with us on your day off.
Yes.
TJ, thank you for spending time with us as well, popping in and hanging out with the crew.
Oh, I love my guy.
Producer Dan, thank you for pushing the buttons as usual.
You are very welcome.
Sam, thank you for joining me on the podcast
Don't
this
thank
week.
me. I don't want that from you, Joe.
Got to thank our partners at WebGains for sponsoring the podcast, and thanks to you at home for listening in. We'll be back. I don't know what day next week. We'll figure out a day. We'll have a little production meeting off air, but we'll see you next week right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.